Well, good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight live from Aberdeen. I'm Brian Allen.
And I'm Anndrea Anderson. The Dakota News Now summer road trip continues this evening from the Brown County Fair. We have been out here all evening showcasing some of the things that make Aberdeen unique.
And we're going to continue doing that in this next half hour. Coming up, we'll take a look at the latest developments with Northern State University, and we'll tell you what makes Aberdeen stand out when it comes to pheasant hunting. Meteorologist Lexie Merley will also be along with your first alert weather forecast.
But first, we are going to start with a little bit of history about our host here. So a quick look at the history of the Brown County Fair. This actually dates back to 1882. It started in the town of Columbia, which was the original seat of Brown County. Aberdeen began hosting the fair when it became the county seat in 1890. There was also a brief stint as a tri-state fair with North Dakota and Minnesota before that dissolved during the Great Depression. Multiple 4-H clubs then ran the fair until the end of World War II, and the county commission declared the event as the Brown County Fair in 1948. Now that you're up to date on the history of the fair, let's take a look at Aberdeen. The hub city has quite a history too, starting with the name and its connection to the railroad industry. So the city was named after the town of Aberdeen, Scotland, which was the hometown of railroad president Alexander Mitchell. So the hub city nickname comes from the 9 rail lines that ran through 4 depots in the area. The railroad setup looked like a spoke of a wheel, and Aberdeen, as you guessed it, was right in the middle of that. But that's not the only thing that set Aberdeen apart at the time.
Aberdeen was originally settled by a great number of people who came from the East Coast and New York specifically, and they came on the train and came here. Aberdeen was probably considered a little bit more cosmopolitan than the other settlements and pioneer locations in South Dakota or in the upper Midwest.
And today, Aberdeen is the 3rd largest city in the state of South Dakota with a population of around 28,000 people.
In the meantime, downtown Aberdeen continues to evolve. The city lost one of its oldest local businesses in 2019 when Malchow's Home Furnishings burned down. That family business had operated in the hub city since 1945, and it was home to more than 12 apartments. Well, fast forward to today, and Malchow Plaza now stands in the footprint of the former Malchow store. That community space is home to businesses, shops, and events. The Aberdeen Downtown Association continues to shape the area with different quality of life projects and events, all to rejuvenate the downtown area.
It's been amazing to see the momentum and the change, everything from the plaza to more murals downtown. The sculpture that we did was in partnership with the Arts Council, the Chamber, and the Community Foundation. So that's something that we worked together to make it happen. And that's really the crux of it all, is I really see people coming together in Aberdeen to make these things happen in partnership, which I think that's such a great next step for us, and you can really see it happening in real time.
Malchow's Plaza, by the way, hosts a farmer's market every Saturday morning, and then that runs through the month of October.
Meteorologist Lexie Merley also making the trek out to Aberdeen with us this evening, and she is here with our first alert weather forecast. It has been a beautiful evening out here, Lexie.
Yeah, you know, guys, we really lucked out with today's weather out here. I've been to a couple of county fairs already this summer, and I gotta say, this is the nicest one by far. Let's take a look now at some of those beautiful temperatures outside. A lot of us saw temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Now we're just a little bit cooler than that, just in those low to mid 60s. Looking at our first alert live Doppler radar, not really much to say here. We do have a bit of that hazy smoke still sticking around the area. Otherwise, sunny skies across the board. Futurecast has pretty dry conditions also pretty much for the next couple of days over our area. Might see a couple sprinkles in western portions of South Dakota, but for the most part, we are staying pretty dry for the next week or so. We do, however, have to worry about some heat that is going to be heading our way. Because of that, our forecast highs for tomorrow are going to be nearing the 90s, even in the upper 90s, maybe 100 in central portions of South Dakota. Because of that, we do have a heat advisory, and we have declared a first alert weather day for central portions of the area. All more details on that coming up in your full first alert forecast.
All right, Lexie, thank you so much. You know, no surprise here when it comes to outdoor activities. Pheasant hunting is one of the biggest economic drivers for the state of South Dakota.
And that is especially true in this neck of the woods. That's because Aberdeen is surrounded by about 300,000 acres of public hunting land. And that's a big draw for visitors. According to the Game Fish and Parks, Brown County welcomed more than 5,600 non-resident hunters for pheasant season just last year. Those hunters accounted for 60% of the bagged birds in Brown County and 3/4 of the pheasant season spending in the county.
And those hunters come here for that Aberdeen tradition. They want that Aberdeen hospitality, that access to public hunting, the hotels that allow dogs, the hunting lodges that accommodate you and your group. And they look upon Aberdeen as that tradition year after year.
So Brown County saw more than $17 million in spending in pheasant season just last year. That is more than any other county in the state of South Dakota. And in Aberdeen, Northern State is often referred to as the gown of the town.
Sounds regal. The university brings over 3,000 students to campus each and every year, as well as athletics, there's fine arts, and workforce resources as well. Sarah Parkin tells us more about their upcoming plans for this fall semester.
Since 2018, Northern's enrollment rates have remained generally unchanged, with slight decreases in the past 2 years. And their goal this semester is to reach potential students outside of the region.
We really do well regionally. We have 80% of our students come from within a 100-mile radius, but we're also having students in Sioux Falls that we want to reach, in Rapid City and Pierre, also reaching out to North Dakota and Minnesota. And some of the things that help do that are our outstanding athletics and arts programs.
One of those athletic programs is football. The team is about to kick off their third season in the new $33 million Dakota Bank Stadium. Coaching staff say the state-of-the-art facility has not only attracted recruits, but has also changed game days in Aberdeen.
You look around this city and it shuts down on Saturdays for these football games in this facility. It brings everybody, not just students, but it brings everybody from the community in the region together on those days.
The stadium and Keeler Hall of Fame field are just some of the upgrades Northern has made in recent years. The university also plans to remodel the 100-year-old Lincoln Hall and seeks federal funds to help.
So we've been in contact with the United States Treasury to get those ARPA funds delivered. And in the meantime, the legislature gave us funding to complete the design of the building. So our new Business and Health Innovation Center will house our business programs as well as our new Bachelor of Science in Nursing program.
That new nursing degree is just one of the programs Northern has added to address workforce needs.
There are areas that we are trying to recruit hard: teacher training, nurse training, because there are such workforce shortages that we're working very hard to try to get students interested in those career paths. We're still an education school, have been from our starting, and now we're just got to attract more students into it again.
You know, until recently, Northern State was one of 2 colleges to call Aberdeen home. Presentation College announced that it would be closing its campus after the summer. Sarah Parkin joins us now live here in Aberdeen with a little more on that. So how does Presentation's closure affect not only Northern State, but when you look at the community overall?
Yeah, when Presentation College announced that it was going to be closing, I think it really rocked the Aberdeen community. Northern State has always had about triple the amount of student body that Presentation has, but what Presentation had that Northern didn't was a nursing program. And that nursing program funneled a lot of healthcare workers into our 2 hospitals here in Aberdeen and rural healthcare systems in the region. So Northern State luckily stepped up. As we heard, they implemented a new nursing program and they agreed to a teach-out program with Presentation College students so that they could transfer easily and for little to no cost to Northern State and stay in this community and keep that workforce funneled into healthcare here in the rural areas.
They got a lot accomplished in a short amount of time, didn't they?
Yes, I think that when I spoke to President Schnorr at Northern State, he didn't really know but that they were going to be closing, but he accommodated quickly and they got on it.
All right, Sarah Parkin, thanks for joining us live here as we continue this special newscast live from Aberdeen and the Brown County Fair. We're back right after this.
Welcome back. We are live all of this half hour from the Brown County Fair here in Aberdeen. I am here with Brody Mueller. He is on the fair board. Brody, thank you for taking the time out.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming up.
This is my first time at the Brown County Fair, and I've already been impressed by just the sheer number of people, the sheer number of activities and things to do, and you are responsible for a lot of that. Tell me a little bit about some new events that people can find this year.
Yeah, you know, we have a big fair board, so I am certainly not responsible for all of it, but we are one of, I think a main draw is that we are one of the last free fairs in South Dakota. So free parking, free admission. You come on down. The grandstand is obviously charges, and the carnival does, but everything else is totally free. But we have a couple new events this year, which we're really excited about. The Great American Duck Race. So this guy, his name is Robert Duck, no joke.
Oh, that works.
He's from New Mexico, and he races ducks. Racing ducks is a sport in New Mexico, and he's won over $50,000 racing it. So you can go over and race ducks. He does it 5 times a day, and it's pretty awesome. So.
We caught up with Senator John Thune, and his duck won the race. He was pretty proud of that.
He did.
There's also on Saturday an event with hot dogs.
Yes, so we instituted a junior fair board this year for the first time, and it was their idea to do a hot dog eating contest. So we have 2 local radio DJs who are going to go head to head, see if they can put the hot dogs where their mouths are, and we're pretty excited about it.
And there are some tents around that we've seen, 3 of them I think, and there's free entertainment in there. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Yeah, so right behind us here, or in front of us, we have the Kessler's tent, which is one of our local grocers. The Ken's tent is the other local grocer, and the North Valley Communications. Free entertainment, free music all week long. There's musicians, there's magicians, there's ventriloquists. It's a really great opportunity to just come out and have some free family entertainment, really for the whole family.
Brody, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously a lot to do here at the Brown County Fair. There is still plenty of time to come out this weekend. For now, we're going to send it to break, and Lexie will be back right after this. Well, welcome back. We are coming at you live from the Brown County Fair in Aberdeen this evening. And when it comes to some well-known places in the Hub City, there are a few locations that come to mind.
For example, how about a place called Storybook Land? I think we've heard of that. For nearly 50 years, the park has been a place for families to explore their imaginations. The grounds include attractions like the Storybook Land train and the Land of Oz. All of it thanks to a partnership between Aberdeen Parks and Rec and the Aberdeen Sertoma Club. Meantime, Wiley Park provides a place for campers. That park sees about 250,000 visitors each and every year.
It's been interesting, when COVID hit, we had a lot of campers come in, and we thought it was just going to be a flare of a thing, they're here because of COVID, but they haven't left. People haven't sold off their campers. They're still coming camping, so they must have enjoyed that experience. So we're seeing a lot of campers.
Expansion plans are in motion now with 9 more wet cabins, which are cabins that have amenities like showers and kitchens. Crews will begin the groundwork this fall with the goal of opening 2 of those cabins sometime next year.
And it is safe to say that no summer is complete without ice cream. Twist Cone has been serving up sweet treats to folks in Aberdeen for more than 50 years now. The ice cream shop opened back in 1970, then came under the ownership of the Klitsky family nearly 20 years ago. During that time, they've tried to keep things as close to original business as possible. And that includes the look of the buildings and the food recipes too. It's in those details, and that goes a long way toward helping customers make some pretty sweet memories.
It's really just about being a place outside and community and coming together and just having fun, meeting friends. We've had people that come, it's their first date. We've had people come back for wedding photos and stuff like that, and we try to make it the best experience.
Twist Cone is typically open for around 8 months out of the year, even opening for the season in below freezing temperatures. Never a bad time for ice cream. We might go find some right now. We are going to send it to break and be right back.
Well, here's one final check of your forecast. If you are planning to come out and enjoy the Brown County Fair tonight, would be a very beautiful night to do that. After that, though, we are really going to be heating things up. Here's a look at your fair forecast for the next couple of days. And as you can see, we are going to be in those low 90s here in the Aberdeen area. Plenty of sunshine for your Friday, but we do see a couple of clouds rolling into the area both Saturday and Sunday. And on top of that heat, we are also going to be dealing with a bit of humidity as those dew points do continue to rise. skies. We do have a heat advisory that is going to be in effect for central portions of South Dakota, and we could be seeing temperatures up to around 104 with even some heat even above that over the next couple of days.
We want to say thank you for joining us here at 6:30, and a big thank you to the folks here in Aberdeen for hosting us.
One more big shout out tonight to our friends at Crazy Horse and Pier for hosting our previous road trip destinations. Dakota News Now continues at 9 o'clock on Fox Sioux Falls. Until then, good night from Aberdeen.